Hello, friends. Happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well this evening. I am enjoying myself some Haunted Bookshop in the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli, as is the tradition. And I'm pretty darn happy it's the weekend, although it's hot and humid and raining and everything else. But hey, that's July. So, I see we've already got a nice crowd assembled. I see my buddy Tim Fournier, who's never going to dance again. There's Pipe Ninja, Konnichiwa Cliff, Piper on the 45, Old Uncle Mike, Steve Russell, Joseph Tamani? Sorry, Joseph. Sometimes I just get stuck on words. Big Dave, Todd Munson, Robert Miller, Poem, my buddy Poem. We're going to talk about him a bit. Hubba Bubba indeed. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. How's it going, Tony? Pipe Appeal. Good to see you, my friend. There's Tim again. Tim's in earwig heaven tonight. Robert Miller's got some Haunted Bookshop in a Matches Memorial pipe as well. Good deal, Robert. We're all in good company tonight. 113. Wow, old Uncle Mike. That's 118 by the weekend. Okay, you got me beat. Here we just got, it's humid. We're in the high 80s, but it's like 90% humidity. Michael Case, happy Bastille Day to you, buddy. Having Virginia Flake in his French cherry church warden sipping some Perrier water, and there's Bonapiper with a bowl of Capstan Blue. Good to see you guys tonight, Beowulf and Miss Kathy. Ah, Joseph, gotcha. Good to see you, buddy. Pepe. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes, of course. Thought I recognized the name and just wasn't sure there. But it's good to see you. Gary Edminster with some Schisso Maduro. Hope that's good, Gary. It's only when you're feeling guilty and got no... Yeah, Tim, I know you're not a fool. Texas Piper, how you doing, Eddie? Same here, but after 102 degrees, it all begins to feel the same. I got you. Old Uncle Mike's in Phoenix. Okay. Hey, Armchair Piper, how you doing, Ed? Good to see you. So I've got I poured and I let the head settle a bit, but I've got a Yuengling tonight. For the rest of that. Oh, that's close. Very, very close. Hey, that wind chill makes all the difference, old Uncle Mike. And there's Mushroom Leg. Good evening to you, sir. That's kind of you. I know you're just saying that, but it's kind of you anyway. Joseph, we would both lose flies. There's no question about it. I spend more time feeding trees than fish, but that would be wonderful. I'm sure Montana is beautiful. It's on my list. Gary's having a Coors Light. You know, sometimes I have Fridays where I'm like, why am I even being paid for this day? Just so easy and smooth sailing and everything good. Today, I think I worked more today than I worked all week. And, it's just the way the cards fall sometimes. But, such is life. Oh, cool. Todd's fishing the Madison next week for 3 days. That's going to be nice. Yeah, I think I'd notice it when it got up above 105 there, Mike. Yeah. I noticed yesterday when I was leaving work to come home, it's really odd, and this happens somewhat regularly in the summer, but it's not like an everyday occurrence. The wind was blowing. There was a strong breeze, and you realize that the breeze, the air that's hitting you from the breeze is actually warmer than the air that you're surrounded by. And it's a really strange feeling because you're used to it being the exact opposite. And maybe that happens to other folks all over, but uh, it's unusual for this part of the country. Ah, Joseph, grandfather born in Pottsville, not very far from where I live. Leaned on Yingling and good whiskey. Can't beat that. Lots of nighttime storms for Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy. Heat index from 110 to 112. Wow. Hit 126. Wow. That is hot. And Eddie has to smoke early morning because of the heat. He's got McBaron Royal Twist, Virginia Perique, and Dark Fired Kentucky. Nice. White Ash Piper Squared. I'm no Don White Ash. Smooth Piper, how you doing, Peter? Good to see you, my friend. He's got some Haunted Bookshop in his Friday 7, Ellie. And there's Doug Owen. Good evening to you, sir. Anybody tried Sutliff Pipe Force episode? No. I don't know, maybe. Anybody tried Sutliff Pipe Force episode 4? It sounds Star Wars-y to me, Doug, so I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Montana's full of Canadian smoke, says Todd. Yeah, I hear that's kind of warming up again. Okay, Tim. All right, Tim. We'll see if we can get you that time off, buddy. Before dawn is better than nothing, right, Mike? Yeah, mushroom leg, we agree on that. But let's not get into that tonight. Lord Hogarth, good evening to you, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, Tim, that's an instant earwig. And there's one song, I don't know that many, but there's one from Solo Times that I'm hoping you don't use. White Ash Piper had old Joe Krantz in the Friday 7, Ellie. Nice. It's an extremely strong Oriental. This must be the Star Wars blend. And Rustica packs a major wallop. Nice. Pipe Ninja's been sneaking sandwiches into church. I missed something. Yeah, Tim, that's where all the cool people are. You're right. I never wanted to be cool. I'd rather be right than cool. Yes, teasing you. Tim's a fan of the Space Wars. So I want to. Looks like we got a fairly nice crowd gathered, so I can give you the good news. I got to congratulate you guys. You did something last week, and I don't know how well we did it. I don't know how we did it, but in the entire what is this 7-8 year history of my channel, we crossed a new threshold. For the first time, I managed to get a video age restricted by YouTube. I don't know what we did. Apparently something that we talked about last week, and I haven't gone back and watched the video. I probably should. We hit on some topic that got the YouTube algorithm all hopped up, and I got a personal email from YouTube explaining to me that this video was age restricted. Nobody under the age of 18 would be allowed to watch it. So that's different from not for kids. All of my videos are not for kids, but I suppose that means that somebody that is a kid could watch it. They just won't promote it to them. So they're not going to see it pop up in their feed unless they go looking for it. And what self-respecting kid is going to go looking for this? Um, but yeah, now it's if you are looking, you ain't going to be allowed to watch it. But that just applies to last week's. So I don't know what we did. If anybody can remember, actually don't tell me because then we'd probably get this one age restricted too. Not that it matters, but I just thought I would congratulate you all on that. You think it was the pizza toppings? Yeah, I don't know. It was Tim's fault, says Todd. You know, no offense, Tim, but you're high on the list of suspects, I suppose. Facts of life. Did we talk about facts of life? Might have been, Joseph. I don't know. I do not remember. But we don't get another vote for the pizza toppings. Oh, Big Dave, why did it take this long for the which female TV star is hotter thing? I mean, we've talked about that pretty much every week for the past 2, maybe 3 years. Yeah, Doug, and if it was that off color, we would remember it. It's just jumping in with Marianne. Oh, you know what, Tim? I bet that's what it was. I bet that I had forgotten. We actually spent quite a bit of time talking about the uh, the discovery of that baggie, and we're just going to leave it at that. Palm, you're probably more accurate than we can even imagine. Lee Merriweather in the Catwoman suit? Creator, well, if that gets us banned, there's no point to life anymore. Really, Flint Hill, that is interesting. He says he recited a short poem about tobacco and it got age restricted. I just, I've never had it happen, and I've talked about tobacco and pipes and all kinds of things, and we got the weekly dirty old men Ginger Marianne show, and never heard anything, but something last week set them off, and I thought that was very funny. Tim, I think you're being too hard on yourself, but the McRib is your fault. I have no doubt in my mind that that's your fault. Cadre Jim, you are safe. You're right, Michael. We are purer than the driven slush. Yeah. White Ash is going, I dream a genie or bust. Now, part of me wants to experiment and see if I can recreate it, but then part of me is thinking, oh, I don't want to anger the overlords. I mean, it's their platform. They can do what they want. I've said this before ad nauseum. I mean, I can't criticize them for doing what they see as right, even if it's not. It's well, I guess I can criticize them for doing it, but I can't do anything about it because it's like I'm at a friend's house and I don't like the color of the friend's wall paint. I can't paint the wall. Oh, Tim, there was no hatred at all. You're just being overly sensitive. We were having fun with current events. That's all. I saw the American pipe making exposition pipes. Yeah, and some pretty wild pipes too, because the theme this year was non-traditional materials. No, Michael, we don't want 18-year-old guys watching. Yeah, you don't push the envelope, you don't poke the bear. That's the bottom line. Oh no, Big Dave. Now we got Big Dave on the Charlie Brown. This is bad. This is very bad. Well, Tim, you exercised your right to not have that happen, and I'm glad you did. Certainly don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. Depends on how fast you can run. Is that with regards to poking the bear, White Ash Piper? That's actually not true. It depends on how fast your friend can run. Yeah, Eddie, there were some nice pipes there. That I thought it was I don't know if I would spend that much for an olive wood pipe. That's the only thing. Well, actually, I don't know if I would spend that much for a pipe, to be blunt about it. I mean, those were very high prices. Clearly, collectors' market prices. What knocked out Bear Wolf and or Miss Kathy? You're right, Piper on the 45. I mean, they wouldn't be interested. There's no way they'd be interested. Yeah, Gary started when he was 18. Now, see, Gary, if YouTube was around then and a bad influence like me wasn't age restricted, you might have started when you were 16. Who knows? It's a good point, Flint Hill. They did both get eaten, but there was a whole bunch of bears there. And I don't think they were browns. I think they were grizzlies. Stanley Smith, hello. You can't be late, buddy. Big Dave, I hope you didn't get too close to the Tesla. It could erupt at any minute. Oh, the age. Okay, so Beowulf's gonna have to sign off. He's not old enough. Oh, Doug, I guess there's a time and place for everything, right? But I don't think there was any hate going on. So, Joseph, I'm drinking a Yingling lager. Yeah, I saw the glowfish. That was pretty cool. That might have been David Huber. Was was it coated or was it carved out of the resin with a briar insert? I can't remember Eddie, but it was basically looked like a resin pipe that glowed in the dark, a blowfish shape. Okay, they were coastal brown bears. Okay, I stand corrected, Flint Hill. Thank you. Society of Ordinary Gentlemen, I apologize for the bad influences. There you go. Tim's got him starting young. Pipe compliant. That's a good way to put it, Tim. Joseph, that's a great place to be. You know, I don't put anybody down for doing what they enjoy doing, but the health, there's definitely a lot more health concerns with cigarettes than pipes, so good move. Well, Tim, they like it because their cool dad likes it, right? And of course, there's no tobacco. I mean, my dad, I think I've told this before. My dad had a pipe. It was probably a gray bow. I don't know. He smoked cigarettes, and he got a pipe at some point in the late '60s. Boy, I wish I had that pipe. And he didn't like her very much, probably because he didn't know anybody to tell him how to do it. And I wound up playing with it when I was, you know, 5, 6 years old. I was walking around the house with a pipe in my mouth. And of course, we had bubble pipes and corn cob pipes to put in the snowman at Christmas and run around playing Popeye the rest of the year. And yeah. That Hobbit cartoon probably had some effect, Tim, but I don't think anywhere near as much as those goofy movies they made. Everybody wanted a church warden all of a sudden. Big Dave, you've said that before, and I love that story. He made and smoked his own pipe when he was in 6th grade. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, candy cigarettes, Tim. Yeah, I used to love those things. I didn't like the mint, so there were mint ones, and then there were tubes of paper that had either chocolate or bubble gum in them. And the cool thing about those is if you got the right ones, I think it was the bubble gum. There was enough cornstarch in them that you could like blow through it and get little puffs out of it. Smarty Bob, hello. Good to see you, buddy. Codger Jim started when he was 16. Flynn Hill was influenced by the Outsiders. How did we not all die? I don't know. I don't know. Society of Ordinary Gentlemen. Oh, bubblegum cigars. Yes, the banana ones were my personal favorite. Then they tasted awful, but yeah, it was a cigar. And also the licorice pipes, pretty cool. They didn't look much like a pipe, but we still thought they were. There you go. White Ash started when he was 17 with the Tinderbox. 1977. Wow. Yeah, voice to text is garbage indeed. Doug says he was blown away by the influence of the Tolkien books and movies. I wonder if the books had much of an impact, Doug, because at the time, I don't know when they were published, but I believe pipe smoking was still pretty normal. I mean, I know both Tolkien and what's his name, Lewis, were pipe smokers. Um, I think I was still kind of in the golden days. Oh, I'd love to try lighting up a pipe at a McDonald's. That'd be hilarious. Have your own drum? Yes, Tim, I've seen your drum. Oh, Eddie, strawberry cat. Oh boy, that might be something that sounds worse than Captain Black Grape there. Strawberry Cavendish. Ugh. Yeah, Flint Hill wanted to be Aragorn. That's funny. Yeah, you don't want to part with that, Eddie. You know, it'd be fun if you don't smoke it, Eddie. You could try to smoke it a couple times, and then we could tune it up and see if it makes a difference. That could be a fun project. Gary smoked drum. It's a good question, Flint Hill, because Oppenheimer certainly was a pipe smoker. It'd be odd to not show him with one. Smarty Bob started at 18 in 1966. The year of my births, Bob. Not to make you feel old, but they're still selling, Doug. Wow. Pipe smokers should march in parades the way bagpipers march. That'd be quite a parade, Paul. Armchair Piper started at 18. Tim started with cigars in college. I was a cigar guy before pipes as well, Tim. But for me, but that was back when cigars were cheap compared to what they are today. And if you were smoking them in college, that's probably true as well. It's got a weird gurgle in this. I'm going to need me a pipe cleaner. Excuse me. Oh, cool. Hey, Boo Dude. Good to see you, buddy. So he says his friend Jamie from Stem and Briar provided all the pipes for the movie Oppenheimer, so that means there will be pipes in it. Fantastic. Glad to see they didn't try to mess with that. Ah, there you go, Mushroom Leg. Well, that was a good outcome, I suppose. Garcia Vegas and the plastic tubes. Yeah, Tim, I know those. Peter wants to do the march on International Pipe Smoking Day. If we were all in the same place, Peter, I'd be right there with you. But most of us would have quite a bit of traveling. Poem started at 15 with Borkham Riff Original. Yuck. I know there's people that love Borkham Riff. We could do that, Eddie, but you'd be on the hook for a couple videos then. Well, ordinary gentlemen, I was in the wrong tax bracket today if they cost as well if they cost what they do today. But I mean, there were some pretty reasonable cigars that I could pick up for under $1 back then. I've seen some of that Sam Waterston Oppenheimer, Big Dave. That was good. I also have a really good book on Oppenheimer that I think might be called. It might be called Oppenheimer. I'll have to check and I'll let you know next week because I haven't looked in a long time. But it was a really good biography. He's a complicated guy. Creator, talk to the smooth piper about Granger. That's his favorite. It's cigars from the Philippines, eh? Interesting white ash. Captain Black Dirty Kitty Litter. Oh, Tim. Yeah, I suppose Borkham Riff would have an attraction to the sailor crowd there, Armchair Piper. Although you could have gone with Captain Black and or Flying Dutchman, right? Although Flying Dutchman might not be what you want to be smoking on the ship. Litter Box Tootsie Roll. Oh, Flint Hill. There you go. The Smooth Piper has given his unbiased opinion of Granger. Oh, thank you, Tim. You just knocked faith out of my head. Pipes with tobacco leaves rampant. Is that our flag, Michael? Well, it's with trepidation that I say I have finished the Haunted Bookshop because you know what's next. Where's my... Uh-oh. We get to pick a new tobacco. I forget what we... Oh, last time we picked that Mukawa, which I did finish. And Texas Piper suggested trying it with coffee in the morning, and I did, and I have to admit it was better. It was better. Still not something I'm going to seek out, but it was... the coffee definitely helped it. Brought out the burley a bit more. Yeah, it's amazing how the price blew up on cigars there, Doug. Thanks, Tim. It's back now. All right, so we got to pick a new. Sorry, we got to pick a new tobacco. So I've actually got I went through. I was going to randomly pick, but there's there's a couple in there that I just want to put off. One is full disclosure. I over hydrated the Lancer slices, so I got to let them dry out a bit. I forgot to take the damp towel out last week. So I pre-selected these three, but I'll go with your choice and whatever you guys choose. In case you're new to this, this is a box of samples that I had sitting here for a while. And by the way, I'm going to keep doing this because I got so much stuff that I got to get through. So we're going to move on to jars after we finish all the baggies. Whatever we pick, I'm going to smoke through the week and, in theory, finish it before we get to the next live stream. So we got three here, all of which are fine choices. One scares me a little. So we got good old crooner. Make my wife happy. We've got the mystery baggie, which was a gift from Steph and Skip Kane a while back. I don't know what this is, but I'm fairly certain it's a crossover blend. Either it's not Northwoods, but it might be that magic mushroom that used to be real popular. It's something like that. A lot of Kia blend, but it's also got some aromatic components to it. A lot of Black Cavendish. And we've got the dwindling supply of Virginia Gentleman from my buddy Doug Owen. So, what's it going to be? Don't pick a number because I don't remember what they are. No, Tim, it's not I Hate Roger Goodell. I smoked all of that, I'm sure. And unless maybe Steph and Skip picked up some I Hate Roger Goodell, maybe. So we got a vote for number 2, which I think was the Latakia blend, the mystery bag. We got a vote for Virginia Gentleman. Yeah, that must have been number 2 because Tim thinks it's IHRG. While you guys are deciding, because so far it's a tie between Virginia Gentleman and Mystery Blend, nobody wants Crooner. You know I would enjoy that one too much. Actually, the Virginia Gentleman's quite good too. I stacked the deck this time. What I'm going to be smoking is this 7LE, I think this is a 622. I'm not going to be able to see that without my glasses on. One of my favorite shapes, actually. I love the pot shape on this. And it's got enough of a bend so that it hangs really nice. That's a stem that I made for it because I broke the original. We got mystery blend, mystery bag, so that's 3 for mystery blend. 2 more for Virginia, so we're tied up 3-3. Calabash. No Calabash. A vote for Crooner. Virginia Gentleman's now got 4 points. Crooner, a strike for freedom. Oh no, Crooner's coming. Oh wait, Mystery Blend's now up to 5. I think we're at 3, maybe 4 for Virginia Gentleman, 5 for Mystery Blend, 3 for Crooner. Oh no, wait. Flint Hill's just commenting on Crooner. He's not voting for it. Ah, that's an interesting thought, Doug. Half Crooner, half Virginia Gentleman. Name it Bing Does Richmond. Another vote for Virginia Gentleman. Big Dave asks if it's possible to collect too many pipes. Eddie, I'll answer the rehydrating question in a minute. Big Dave, it is possible to collect too many pipes, but it is not possible to own too many pipes. Remember, my pipes are not a collection, they're a gathering. Another vote for the mystery bag. So how do I do my rehydrating, Eddie S? I break all the rules, and I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it just works. Um, I take a paper towel, I wet it just with tap water, I wring it out till it's just damp, and I throw it in the baggie or the jar, and I leave it for 24 hours, if I remember to take it out. Unfortunately, with this, I didn't remember to take it out, and it got too much water in it. I've never had a problem. You know, people say you have to use distilled water and you can't let the thing touch the tobacco, and it just works every time. Um, so that's how I do it. The equation for how many pipes you need, that's easy. You need, if n is the number of pipes you have, you need to have n plus 1. And of course, every time you buy a pipe, you update n. So, yes. Gentleman's taken a commanding lead, and I really want to smoke something, so I'm going to go with... Michael thinks I should just pick them at random. I kind of like letting you guys choose it. We're going to go with Virginia Gentleman. But you know what? To kind of play with Doug's idea, I'm going to do Virginia Gentleman with a little layer of critter on the top. How's that sound? And then we'll finish up the Virginia Gentleman during the week. I'm not going to do Virginia Gentleman with a layer of critter on top all week because that would annoy me. Actually, I don't have that much Virginia Gentleman here, and I do want to put a bowl of this in the 2023 blend. So yeah, we may not be smoking. Maybe I'll have to switch to Corona later in the week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. May have fewer choices next week. This is working. I mean, the pile is dwindling. Although some of the stuff I'm putting away, like I decided that the Haunted Pirate Ship, I can't smoke that stuff. So I'm going to mix it with more Haunted Bookshop to bring it up to what my friend Mark in Rhode Island was, I think he was calling it Haunted Pirate Dinghy or something like that. So it's only 25% of the pirate cake. So I'm probably going to do that and then jar it. Right, it's not crooner, it's Virginia topped with crooner. Exactly, Eddie. Exactly. Pipe tree has over 800. My goodness. That's a lot of pipes. Yeah, Palm, if you like using the brown coffee filter paper, that's fine. I've been doing it forever. It's never been a problem, so. I like it simple. But I love reading these. They used to spend a lot of time on the Brother Breyer forum, and you'd see these people writing about how you've got to use distilled water because of all the minerals that are in the water. You don't want that getting in your tobacco. Well, you drink it, and it's not going to get in the tobacco anyway because it's not going to evaporate. The water is going to evaporate. It's going to leave behind the impurities. I don't know. We can complicate anything, but it doesn't necessarily make it better. Patrick Grant, how you doing, buddy? And Ochoita, good to see you. Oh, Ochoita tried crooner for the first time today and says it's fantastic. Yeah, it is fantastic. Well, that's what the first like quarter inch of this is going to be, and then we move into Virginia Gentleman. Let's see what we get here. Bing does Richmond. Thank you, Doug. That's just crooner. Oh, crooner is an amazing blend. Yeah, I'd like to avoid chlorine society, but again, you're drinking it. But you know, you do what you like doing. If you think it's important to use distilled water and brown paper filters and suspend it above the tobacco and all that, if that makes you happy, go for it. I'm not telling you you're wrong. Just telling you what I do, it works. Your way will work too. I like layering tobacco, Michael. It's a real good way to get a feel for like blending components. You take something kind of neutral that you know well, like some Carter Hall, and you put a layer of um, like uh, cube cut burley or dark burley or whatever on top of that. And you get a real good feel for when that changes the flavor profile. Yes, we don't want to forget about clicking your heels 3 times, Tim. Joseph is lighting up his Turkish mirror with a homemade blend and drinking Imperial IPA via Voodoo Ranger. Nice. Yeah, those Babita packs are nice, Flanell. I mean, I've got some of those that I use with cigars sometimes. They're a good option. Armchair Piper has 340 and only a few on order. Tim switched over to Pink Floyd. Bowl Parfait. There you go, Whiteash. Ochoita says he's got some Connecticut cigar flavor in the critter. I can see that. You should have been an engineer, Society of Ordinary Gentlemen. That's what engineers do best. But I think we all do it to something. Yeah, the chlorine doesn't stick around long, Michael. That's a good point. Neil Day, you can't be late. Right on time. We're somewhere near the topic, Neil, but we haven't actually figured out what the topic is yet. Yeah, Peter, that's what I don't like, and I agree with you. I actually like my tobacco on the dry side, um, but at the same time, if it's too dry, it burns way fast, and easy way to burn the old tongue there. So I got something in the mail today that made me very happy. But I also got something by email earlier this week that made me very happy. Uh, my buddy Poem, who's in the chat here, is quite an artist, and he did a portrait of me from a screen shot, screen capture, and it was really cool. I really appreciate him doing that. I'm gonna try to get it printed out and hang it up back on the wall of fame back there. Right now, it's the picture that Tony 513, I think it was. I haven't seen Tony in a while, but he drew a picture of me that I really love. And then I've got the Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi that have been sent to me. I think one of those was sent by Michael Case, and the other one was sent by my friend Dean. I think that's right. I hope I've got that right. And that K. Woody sign, you can't see any of this, but you've seen it from time to time. You can see the very, very corner of the K. Woody right there, K. Woody ad. That was from my buddy Cole, Big Country Briar. So got a nice little decorative corner there. I'm going to try to get Poems painting up there, and I'll show it off on Sunday when I do a video. I didn't have time to get it ready for tonight, but if you want to see it, check out the Sunday. I haven't yet gotten the Rollins Band poster hung up, Tim. Sorry. Oh, White Ash Piper, sure thing. Have a great weekend, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Rick Allen, anyone try blending value chocolate with Dark Bar Kentucky? Not I. Anybody else out there? Oh, it's another thing I gotta hang up, Tim. My Roger Goodell sticker. Yes, I've got it. I've got it. That's got to get on the wall. Ah, really, Wilmington Piper? Yeah, that's Fort Washington, not far away at all. Well, Michael Case, we probably could have predicted that conclusion prior to the reviews, huh? Society of Ordinary Gentlemen's asking, what's your favorite pipe? I don't, people get mad at me when I say this, but I don't have a favorite pipe. I like them all. Yeah, the one I'm smoking is what Armchair Piper says, and I kind of agree. I'm not, if you told me, okay, the house is on fire, you can only grab two, I could probably tell you what those two are, but they're not necessarily favorites, they're just sentimental. And he's asking about the El Tang Basic. He needs his N+1 pipe, yeah. Patrick Grant has one, says it's a great smoker. I think it was Jay Mouton who had one and actually made some of his own in that style. Really liked them. Tim likes all his pipes like the fingers on his hand. That's funny. So I think we've gotten through the crooner at this point. So I told you the one thing that made me happy. So Poem, thank you again. That was really a cool surprise to see that painting. Really appreciate it. And yes, Michael, I've got this. I actually just moved the Scripto Lighter ad the other day. Sorry. He sent me this beautiful large, I think it was from Life magazine, Scripto Lighter ad that I've been saving for when I restore the Scripto Lighter that you sent me that I just haven't gotten around to. It's coming, Michael, I promise. Yes, Lord Hogarth, you're right. We need folks like Bremen Pipe Smoker to suffer through those dreadful tobaccos for us. Yes, saves us the time. So the other thing I got, and there's a story behind this, and Tim's probably gonna have a conniption when he sees it, but this came in the mail today. So this came out in 1990. Mel Torme, Night at the Concord Pavilion. It's a live album recorded at the Concord Pavilion. Go figure. And the story is that I was in graduate school in Pittsburgh, and I would take a bus home. So I actually wound up getting an apartment quite far from the university, and I was there for like the first 2 years. It was kind of stupid because, well, I had a car when I first moved there, and then I wrecked it, and it was a pretty traumatic accident for me, so I decided not to replace it. Took the bus. I say I wrecked it. I was making a left-hand turn across the two-lane highway, and there was a curve, and the woman came around the curve so fast I did not see her until I was halfway through, and she actually hit me hard enough to throw the car into a truck that was sitting in the parking lot. Car was totaled, and it was my fault because in Pennsylvania, the driver making the left-hand turn assumes responsibility. But there was just no way I could have seen this person. Anyway, so I would take the bus, and it was a long ride. It took me about an hour to get from the university to my apartment, and I had to make a stop in downtown Pittsburgh to change buses. And I would work late, so I'm standing there in downtown Pittsburgh. It's winter, standing right across from Kaufman's department store. Any of you folks that know Pittsburgh will know what I'm talking about here. I don't think it's there anymore, but it used to be beautiful old-style department store, brass fittings on the doors and everything, and they had a big Christmas display every year. Every window had a different sort of like Christmas village type thing in it, and it was just a really cool thing. But it was late, and like 10, 11 o'clock, so there's nobody around, and everything's closed, and I'm just standing there waiting for the bus that only comes once an hour, and I probably missed the last one by 5 minutes. And I had my Walkman. Remember a Walkman? I had one. With earphones. This is, for the kids out there, this is how we used to listen to music. And I'm listening to WDUQ, which was the Pittsburgh jazz station, and sadly is no more. And Tony Mowat, who was the one jazz voice I remember from that station. I'm sure I could remember others if they were pointed out to me, but he was kind of an iconic DJ on this station. And this album had just come out. He was talking about it. It was Mel Torme live at the Concord Pavilion, and he played pretty much the whole album while I was waiting for the bus. Yep, Flint Hill, Walkman with 4 AA batteries. That's exactly it. So, I'm listening to this while I'm waiting for the bus, and I'm just like, this is so good. This is, yeah, I knew Mel Torme and everything, but this is just a really fantastic album, and he does, which he did a lot, but I hadn't heard it on a recording before. You know, he'll start singing one song and just morph it into the next song, and then morph that into the next song. And so like he did a whole Guys and Dolls medley where he just went through like 6 songs, but just kind of just morphed from one to the other seamlessly. And I really enjoyed this album. And I said to myself, because I was a graduate student, I had no money. I didn't have money to ride the bus and buy like spaghetti and a can of tomato sauce. That was my life at the time. And I said to myself, you know, I really want this album, but I'm going to have to wait until I can afford to buy the CD. And then I realized I didn't have a CD player because CDs were relatively new at the time. And I said, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to wait until I can afford to buy a CD player. And it just kind of fell out of my mind. And the other night I was sitting there and I think I heard Mel Torme earlier in the day or something, and I was just thinking about, and it clicked, and I remembered that night. I remembered that whole thing. Went on eBay. There it was. Well, I went on Amazon first, and it was like 20 some dollars, and I still can't afford it. I could afford it, but I went to eBay just to see if there was any used copies, and there was one for $6, and I bought it, and it arrived today, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm so excited that I got the darn thing. So I finally have completed that chapter in my life, and now I feel like I'm an adult. Paul Meltor may guest starred a couple of times on Night Court, but I think that was the 80s, not the 70s. Ochoita still has his old Sony Walkman. And I saw, Tim, did you publish a new book? I saw something about your new book pop up there. Mel also appeared in a famous Seinfeld episode. Well, we can't hold that against him. Gary switching to his Peterson housepipe with vanilla custard. Nice. I've thought about Mel Torme. Oh well, it's gone. Yes, Harry Stone, the judge from Night Court, was a big Mel Torme fan. Yeah, they worked that into a couple of episodes. I used to like that show. Oh, you're researching it. Might not like what my hero did to traditional marriage. Okay, well, look forward to hearing about that too. Yes, Michael, the Wanamaker's, I think it's still there. It's not Wanamaker's anymore, but that organ is still there. And whatever that building is, they still have at Christmas time concerts twice a day. And I heard it many times when I was younger. Uh, that's in Philadelphia. Amazing sound. And the cool thing about it is that it was, the organ was in one place and the pipes were like throughout the store. And the person that played it actually couldn't hear what they were playing because there was such a delay in terms of the sound traveling. So it was really interesting. Couch, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Toots Thielman, Poem. I always wanted to see him. He was amazing, harmonica player, incredible. Played a chromatic harmonica and just you couldn't believe it was a harmonica. Oh, so you got to see the organ when you were here, Eddie. That's great. It's an incredible sound. The thing, Poem just reminded me of the thing that I had lost my train of thought. One of the regrets I have in life is I had a chance to see Mel Torme at an open air concert in Pittsburgh, and my wife was willing to go, and I was tired that night, and I just said, and that was the last chance I would have had to see him, so I missed out on that. Hey, Couch, I love a good pipe question. No problem. Unless the question is, will I buy another twin pipe with you? Because the answer is probably yes. Dizzy Gillespie and Miriam Makaba. That must have been quite a show, Patrick. Tubi has two movies based on an infamous child abuse and murder Indiana trial. Okay, Tim. I don't know if I want to watch those, but thank you. Joseph is a closet Eagles fan. That's fine, Joseph. You don't have to stay in the closet here. BB King and Buddy Guy. That's fantastic, Patrick. Twin Dunhills. York out. Oh, wow, Patrick. That really sounds like it was a fantastic night. Oh, I told that story before, Ochoita? Yeah. Obviously, it's one of the few things I truly regret. I mean, I'm lucky. I don't have many things to put on that list, but that is one of them. So I'd offer to put the CD on for you, but we'll get flagged. We're already probably getting age restricted. No point in getting a copyright infringement too. Lionel Hampton on the vibes, yeah. Yeah, Michael, I think you're right about that. Yeah, he was amazing. Ah, at Flint Hill, that would be another one. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Merle Haggard. Ah, Yardism played a concert on his chat, huh? That man is a encyclopedia of music. Wow, Lord Hogarth, that's quite a story. Benny Goodman's final performance, two pieces, and then he was rushed to the hospital. Oh, poem, you play the chromatic harmonica. Cool. I wanted to get a chromatic harmonica largely because of Toots Thielman, and never did, which is fine because I am not a musician. It could go in my pile of musical instruments that I will never be able to play. Harmonocats, says Michael Case. Time for a new beer, says Gary Edminster. Hey, look at this. We're keeping pace tonight. 20 minutes left and just below halfway. I might not have to chug. Ian Dad, how you doing, Robert? Good to see you. Ron Hardcrackers, friends of his, opened for Buddy Guy, then shared the stage in a jam session. That's cool. Couple of YouTube videos. The Ben Miller Band is playing. Ben Miller Band is the band with Rachel Ammons playing blues on her violin. Oh man, that sounds great, Ron. Wilmington Piper is drinking Whistle Pig Rye tonight. Andrew, hope you're enjoying Vermont, my friend. Doing any fishing up there, buddy? Welcome to where time stands still, no one leaves, and no one will. Tim, that scares me. I don't know if it's a song or, but that just sounds ominous. Michael, I don't know. I honestly have I've been doing a terrible job of keeping up on YouTube videos just because I've been so darn busy. But I think Yardism does a lot on Rumble these days. See Couch asking the same. Maybe somebody else, whoever said that he did a concert on his live, was that on YouTube or was that on Rumble? Oh yeah, Andrew, I forgot about the flooding. That's a bad luck, buddy. Sorry about that. Man, that's a big jump in flow rate, huh? Wow. Those fish are not eating. I'm glad about the rye whiskeys too, Flint Hill, except that it's driven the price up for quite a few. I was on YouTube, says creator. Okay. Well, Tim, if you insist. Michael Case, all I can say to that is ouch. Okay, Doug, so you got those three chords down, huh? I could play guitar chords, but it was the F chord that I could never get right. I just could never bar, and that just never worked out for me. I got reasonably good playing the mandolin. Not like, I'm gonna go play in public or anything, but I was happy with the progress I was making, but then I kind of stopped. And I play a mean ukulele, but who doesn't? C, D, and G. I think I got those mastered, Ian Asdad. Those are the three I can play. Might also be able to play an A or an A minor. I can't. It's been so long, I don't remember. Jim PM, happy Friday, buddy. Just got back home from that Michigan or Missouri. I always get confused. Having a bowl of Ernie Q's Simply Orange. Good deal. Oh, that's right, Tim. I forgot you were a musician, weren't you? Bass player and a lead vocalist. If I remember right, Skip Kane was also a bass player. Piano is one I never really tried, Joseph. Jim PM says minor or seventh chords can be tricky. I'll take your word for it, Jim, because I barely know what that means. Oh, Michael, you play the dulcimer. That's cool. GD and A7, says Doug. Well, Tim, you've led an interesting life so far, huh? Stand-up comedy, rekeyed locks, and a lead cook in a restaurant. Not all at the same time, I hope. That would be a show to watch. Watch Tim doing stand-up as he cooks and rekeys locks. Well, Couch, don't forget to duck. Tim, wouldn't that make you Ken? I got my old friend out again this week. This is my first Zippo. I've had it probably about 30 years. Bought it in that tobacco shop in Pittsburgh I've talked about, from the 80-year-old corncob pipe smoking woman that taught me the difference between aromatics and English blends. And it's funny, I have a shelf that's got, oh, I don't know, 12 or so Zippos on it. And every time I go to get a new one, like I try to rotate them every week, a different one, and every time I go, this one just is the one I want. I'll never get tired of this guy. It's like an old friend. Ah, I see, Tim. Piano class was the only class that you almost failed at university, says Michael Case. Wow. I didn't take any music classes in university. I took theater classes. Did okay with those, but yeah, I wouldn't have done well in English, in music. Probably wouldn't have done well in English either. Jim PM popped up not with something about English, and that's what got in my head. English or not English, but rather a lot of Kia blends, truthfully. Yeah, Jim, well, that was kind of her point. Wilmington Piper, I've never tried Old Joe Krantz Blue. I love Old Joe Krantz. I never tried any other colors, so. Yeah, we don't want to get canceled, Tim. So, Jim PM, to your point, what she told me was and she was being very blunt and dismissive with me, but because she knew that I had smoked Captain Black and I had never tried any of the non drugstore blends. And she said, what you need to know is there's two types of blends. There's English and aromatics. Aromatics are crap. You want English. And then she gave me a pouch, 2 ounces of number 10 Downing Street and sent me on my way. It was wonderful. You know, I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. First time I ever walked into a tobacconist, this old woman is sitting in a corner smoking a corncob pipe. I clearly had disturbed her. She said, what do you want? And I was out of there in 5 minutes. But I went back there many times, and she was quite kind to me, and she got me started. Um, but I years later in researching, I found out that English was sort of a general term for non-aromatic tobaccos. American tobaccos were considered aromatics, and the other choice was English. So it had nothing to do with Latakia. Kind of interesting. Ryan Woodward asking about the new Zippo butane pipe insert. Some folks talked about that last week. It didn't get good reviews. Yeah, there we go. Palmas giving the general consensus. You're right, Tim. She would probably not approve of chicken on pizza. I have, believe it or not, finished this a bit early, and I'm probably not going to load another. We've only got about 8 minutes to go. Jim PM took bowling at Purdue, and that met at 7 a.m. Yeah. We had a bowling lane at Temple that I discovered like my second year there, and I truly believe I spent more time bowling than I spent going to classes. Because it was free. You just showed your student ID card and you could bowl all day. I became a pretty good bowler. Yeah, GPM, and we don't want to get into the whole Balkan versus English thing. I could start a war. Ah, sorry, Eddie. Virginia Gentleman. I've had it before and have talked about it before. It's very nice. A very nice blend. I believe it's a vapor. It's the Virginias are nice in it, sweet, not too bright, and I believe it's got a little perique in it. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm not so sure. It looks like it's got a little perique in it. But yeah, very nice. Virginia and Burley, actually. Sorry, no perique. Piper on the 45 had the same education in tobacco, yeah. Patrick Grant wants to know what my average was. Oh boy. I I got to be honest with you, Patrick. I don't remember. Um, I didn't do bad. I was a good student actually, but I do not remember the number. It wasn't 4.0 for sure, but it was above 3.5. Yeah, Michael, that would be a big mistake. Probably does have some Oriental in there too. Sorry. I got to be honest with you. I paid attention when the crooner was there, and then when the crooner disappeared, I was talking and I didn't pay much attention to it. So I'm trying to remember back from the last time I smoked it. And I looked at Doug's note on there where he says Virginia Burley. Uh, but yeah, some Oriental would make sense. Poem says that grades don't matter, character matters. That's true unless you're trying to get into graduate school, Poem. Are you guys arguing about Balkans? I don't care. Yeah. Oh, you want my bowling average? It went right over my head. I don't remember. In fact, I didn't keep track. Uh, I just did it for fun. Oh, okay, Doug's going to set us straight on the whole Balkan thing. So Balkan is Oriental forward, English is Latakia forward, Scottish, brown Cavendish component with above ingredients. So you could have a Scottish Balkan or a Scottish Balkan or a Scottish English then, Doug? The truth is none of these matter. You know, we're trying to put square boxes around wiggly lines and who cares? Mookie Betts was a great Merker Troy, yes. Unfortunately, they did not have pitchers at the Temple bowling lanes, but when I was a kid, I was in the Cub Scouts, and my school, believe it or not, my grade school had bowling lanes in it. It was a Catholic grade school named St. Monica's in South Philadelphia, and it had bowling lanes. And the Cub Scouts would meet there on Saturday mornings to bowl. And boy, I was terrible. It was just horrible. Uh, I remember that because there were a couple of kids that were really, really good. And I used to watch the adults bowling and, you know, just watching that ball shoot down the lane and mine was like slowly rolling and and we didn't have any bumpers. Just went right in the gutter. Oh, that's cool, Palm. Mother's 87 and still bowls. That is fantastic. Yeah, it's hard to not think of the Big Lebowski when you bowl now. Good point, Andrew. Oh, I was far from a character, Doug. Yeah, we did the Pinewood Derby, Jim PM. Mine, I was terrible at that too. Because you know when you're that young, you're kind of dependent upon your dad, and my dad was no woodworker, so he did stuff around the house. He could do repairs and stuff like that, but when it came to taking a block of wood and turning it into a Pinewood Derby car, we pretty much if I remember right, it already had the sort of seat area cut out. We stuck wheels on it and painted it. I think that's all we did. Yes, there are two kinds of pipe tobaccos, Michael, good and bad. Or to be kind to others, we could say tobaccos I like and tobaccos I don't. But between you and me, we know they're good and bad. The sound of pins falling down covers the sound of... Tim, what is it with you and child abuse tonight? I truly don't understand what you're talking about, Tim. Candlepin? That's odd, Palm. Ron won the Pinewood Derby. Congratulations, Ron. You must be so proud. Do you still have the car? So I've heard of duck pin bowling. I wonder if that's similar. That would be embarrassing, Doug, but I've done it. Lost in the 50s. It is a great movie. I really do like that movie. It's a stupid movie in a lot of ways, but it's a fun one to watch. I was in love with my den mother, Michael, because she made really good cake. Oh, rolling pin. Wow, Lurker Troy. That's I bet you were a good boy. Oh, okay, Tim. Okay. Now there was none of that. Could be. You remember your den mother's name, Michael? Wow. No way I could conjure that up. I can kind of see her, and I can kind of see the den master. I could pick him out in a crowd, assuming he hadn't aged, which of course he's probably long gone, but still got it. That's cool, Ron. Mine is probably in what is now my brother's house somewhere, but I doubt I'd ever find it. How we doing here? Oh, we're over time. My goodness. And I thought I was timing this perfectly. Jim PM's mom was his den mother, and the pack met at his house. So that made it easy, huh? Tim's den mother was Mrs. Stewart, and her husband was the mailman. Oh, I just honestly cannot remember. Ah, Couch had a bad crypto day. Yeah, I was tracking that for a bit. Hey, don't worry, Couch. It's gonna rebound. Who could forget a woman named Monroe? Especially if her first name was Carolyn, right? Is that what you were thinking, Michael? Oh, Patrick, thank you. I'm glad you're having fun. Actually, it's probably a pretty good time to buy some crypto, Couch. Ah, yes, the Webelos. We only had one of those, Jim, and boy, he was annoying. I do remember that. We used to have there was a park in the middle of the city, and it's a goofy thing, but it was the closest thing we had to a place for camping. So every summer there was a like overnight weekend sort of thing where not just our troop, but all the scout troops and the Cub Scout troops and everything would pitch tents in this park, and we'd have a oh, you're thinking of Maryland, Michael. Oh, okay. I'm a bit later, but yes, yes, that too, indeed. So anyway, we'd go and we'd pitch tents and we'd sit, but I was never allowed to stay overnight because my mom was paranoid about it, which, today might be reasonable, but back then was just, she just was overly concerned. But I would go during the day and spend the day there and do all the activities and stuff, and then I'd go home at night. And did this 3 or 4 times, and after the first time, it really devolved because uh, what I remember doing is there was one, there's always the one kid that everybody picks on, and we would wait for him to go into the porta potty, and the way these porta potties were designed, there was, there was the latch that you would lift up, and then there was a place to lock it, and we'd get a stick and stick it in the lock thing and walk away. And I think we did this at least 2 years in a row, and never got caught. He got out, Believe me, he deserved it. Ron, other than an inconsistency in the cake, I don't know what would cause that. Burning hot on the front and back of the bowl, but the sides stay cool. Yeah, I'd guess the cake is wonky. Tim went through most of his bear patch in one night. Yes, the Weeblos, it was the sort of rite of passage, but I don't think most people stayed Weeblos for long, although this guy seemed to be a Weeblo for life. Yeah, Couch, I agree. It's not going anywhere, and it's safe. Well, it's safe's a relative term, but I think it's better to have Bitcoin right now than to have cash. I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to get age restricted. Tim made the jump to Boy Scout in 5th grade. Cool. No, I can't do that, Poem. I got to get going. The conversation's interesting, but I really got to get going. So, but thank you for the suggestion. Porta potty, yo, you know what porta potties are, Michael? They're those. I don't know. What else would you call a porta potty? Out the bathroom things that they bring to like concerts and stuff on the backs of trucks. Portable sanitary bathroom units, with sanitary being very loosely defined. Poem is still a Weeblo. Keep trying, Poem. Keep trying. Portable outhouses, portable heads. Is any of this ringing a bell, Michael? Big plastic boxes that have toilets full of blue water in them? No, didn't push it over Flint Hill. We weren't that mean. All right, folks. I do have to call this to a close. I hear my wife moving around up there. She's probably starting to wonder what's happening. So, Johnny on the job. There you go. I got to admit, porta potties was not something I thought we'd be talking about tonight. Hopefully that won't get us flagged for age restrictions. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot for joining me. I really enjoyed it and love chatting with you guys on a Friday night. I'll be back on Sunday with a video. I'll be sure to show off Poem's painting, so tune in for that. I think you'll enjoy it. And we'll be back next week with more shenanigans. So with that, have a great weekend. Enjoy the week ahead, and we'll talk again soon.